this team this year, just having him practice with you guys? And do you plan on applying for a waiver, or is the plan for him to sit out this year?
No, we don't. My conversations with him throughout the whole recruiting process was sitting out. He's been under a microscope since he was 13 years old. I don't know how he's done it and kept his sanity. I really don't. Zion, all these kids. Seventh has been under that microscope since he was 13. Like, as a 14-year-old, every time he dribbled, every gym was sold out, and every critic was out there criticizing everything he did wrong. I have no idea how that young man has been able to keep the class that he lives life with under those circumstances. But the whole thought process is, let's redshirt, kind of get out of that spotlight for a minute, take a deep breath, regain, I guess the kids call his swag, which made him pretty darn good. And then the most important part, he and I get to know each other as a player and a coach. We got to know each other as people in the recruiting process. Let's get to know each other as a player and a coach.
In these workouts?
He's got a chance to be a star. His talent, his personality, his willingness to learn, his room for growth. I mean, he is athletic, strong, explosive, has feel. Like, he's made passes in our workouts. And granted, now it's half court workouts. It's not up and down. It's 3-on-3 for the most part. It's not 5-on-5. But he's made some decisions and passes with an explosiveness and preciseness. I haven't had anyone here that passes the ball like that.
Obstacles to work through, from injuries to the youth and learning about your team. Despite not finishing the way you had hoped, there was a lot of optimism looking into this next season. But now, knowing that you have these 7 guys coming into your program, you have Micaiah Henry, you have Seventh Woods, how much more confidence does this bring to you now about your team?
I think we have a lot of talented pieces. I think top to bottom, 1 through 14, 15, if you include the walk-ons. It's as talented a team as I've been a part of, as people, work ethic, talent level, experience, and you put it all together.
Guys in Henry and McCreary, just kind of tell us about those guys. How do they fit?
Bruce Schindler loved Jalyn last summer. Chuck Martin went to see him. He loved Jalyn. Jalyn came on a visit, I want to say it was the Auburn game back in January. He wanted to commit to us then. I didn't have a scholarship. And I was like, And I didn't know about him enough as a person. Like, we didn't have a scholarship. I wasn't actively gathering information on him. And when I mean gathering information, I'm not talking about, is his jump hook good? Is his right hand good? I'm not about who he is, what he's about, what his family's about, how he acts, how he deals with coaches, how he is as a teammate, those things. So I was not an information gathering thing. So then we're in the middle of the season, and he had a game in Myrtle Beach, and I told Chuck, I said, Chuck, if someone leaves, we got to have someone in the spring in the fold. And Chuck had the scout. It was later in I don't know, it's probably late February now. And I said, just tell Perry to go. So Perry goes. Perry calls me on his way back from Myrtle Beach. He said, Frank, this kid is really good. And that's a long story on his recruitment. And I wasn't going to have a scholarship for somebody that I know our staff liked that much. Jason made a decision that kind of caught me off guard. But as soon as he made that decision, we then aggressively went after Jalyn, who we had already built a relationship with, and he knew a lot about us, and then he made a pretty quick decision after that. And then Henry, when Felipe also made that decision, then we aggressively started pursuing grad transfers. And Henry was available, and I was the first head coach to go see him in person.